And we're joined now, with a suitable distance between us, by the independent newly MEP for Yorkshire and Humber, Godfrey Bloom. Welcome to the Sunday Politics, Godfrey.
Morning, Andrew. Morning to you.
Hi. Now, you said this weekend that you have to be a complete sociopath to be in politics. Are you a sociopath?
No, which is, I think, probably why I'm not very good at it. I'm just an ordinary bloke from the rugby club who, as I said, you said on that clip, I like to tell it how it is. I didn't come into this game of politics for any personal aggrandizement, you know. I came into it to save my country from the clutches of the awful, evil European Union. That's why I'm in politics, and that's why I joined UKIP, and I am still a member of UKIP, and I will still be voting UKIP.
Do you accept that your behaviour torpedoed the UKIP conference?
Look, we were both born in the same year, Andrew, but 1949. I think we're both too old to worry about regrets. I think let's look forward and see how we go forward.
Never mind the year I was born. What's the answer to my question?
Well, the answer to the question is same as before. I'm in this for my country, and I intend to do the best I can in the next 6 months, sitting out my time as independent for my country. And a lot of that's going to involve getting UKIP re-elected. They're the only game in town. They're the only party that's going to get us out.
Then shouldn't you have been more careful and not become a liability? I mean, you hijacked the conference that was meant to mark the party's coming of age.
Well, of course, that is a matter of perception. We've heard nothing but in the last 2 years, but it's a one-man band. It's a Nigel Farage party, haven't we? And I can make a joke at a fringe meeting and collapse the whole thing. This doesn't say anything about me. It doesn't say anything about UKIP, Andrew. It tells you about your profession of professional journalism. It's all about journalism. It isn't about UKIP or me. It was the journalist's reaction to one small joke at a fringe meeting.
And also Mr. Farage's reaction. Is UKIP a one-man party?
Well, clearly, I don't see how it could have been. Otherwise, I couldn't have caused all this fuss by myself, could I?
But you're not
Unless
there
I have
anymore.
a tremendous force of personality. Do I have the most unbelievable force of personality, I wonder, that could collapse an entire party conference?
Well, is it possible to do well in UKIP if you're not friends with Nigel Farage?
I don't intend to not remain friends with Nigel Farage. He's been a friend of mine for 20 years. And let me just also, if I may, Andrew, remind you that in June and July, UKIP was slightly slipping in the polls. And when I made my speech about overseas aid, we went back from 11 and 12% to 18%. So I'm not an electoral liability, never was to UKIP. I'm a vote getter.
Well, you don't, as you know, there's a difference between cause and correlation. But let me just show you what Nigel Farage had to say about you this morning on the BBC. Let's just run a clip of that.
We're not here trying to win friends amongst the Liberal elite, but we are here to focus on our main policies. And Godfrey's problem was he kept making comments about women. That's not part of our manifesto. No.
I mean, don't you need to pause and reflect on the fact that you're too outrageous, too politically incorrect, even for UKIP?
Well, you see, to a certain extent, I've been gagged on other subjects. I'm a libertarian. I wanted to talk about flat tax. I thought David Aronovich wrote an extremely good piece a couple of days ago in the Times on drugs. I've been gagged to speak about any of these things because they're not on message. So I tend to speak about other things, but...
Maybe UKIP's just outgrown you. They want to be a more mainstream professional party machine, and they've got to get rid of the sort of Victor Meldrew, Alf Garnett wing.
Well, you know, you might have a point, but of course I'm speaking to you up here from Hull, and if you look at our results in Rotherham and Barnsley, and very recently in Scarborough and Whitby in the by-elections, 24-25%. So how you see things down there in the jolly old bubble, Andrew?
Well.
Not like we see it up here in Yorkshire,
Well,
Andrew.
you look like the one that's sitting in a bubble, but is UKIP unravelling?
No, of course it isn't. We're getting now regularly 24% of the vote in every by-election and ward by-election. Of course it's not unravelling. Boy, wouldn't the main parties and the establishment love to see that, but I'm sorry it's not happening.
Will you stand as an independent against UKIP in next year's European elections?
Almost certainly not, although I know political support, electoral support is slightly ephemeral, but if the elections were next week and I stood, I can assure you I'd win the seat. But no, I don't think I'll go that route.
So will you stand as a UKIP candidate again then?
Oh, well, that's... we don't know. We don't know. Probably not, but I should certainly be trying to help UKIP as best I can.
Well, you both share a flat, I understand it, still in Brussels. Neither of you clean behind the fridge, so other than the fact the place is probably quite mucky, you've got a chance to talk to each other and get back into his good graces, haven't you?
Well, I'm sure we'll be having a beer before the month is out.
So Godfrey Bloom will soon be back in UKIP, we can take it. For those of you who weren't watching there, he just shrugged. Godfrey Bloom, thank you very much for joining.
Great pleasure.
God, I have to move my own chair in this program. You don't see Jeremy Paxman having to do that, do you?